Mark, welcome to IMpower. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
And it's been an exciting and busy time for Confluence.
Oh, it certainly has, yes. We've been growing quite a bit over the last few years, so it's been terrific.
And particularly in the tech space, which is obviously a huge theme here at the event this year.
Yeah. I mean, Confluence is actually the combination of a number of companies that we've acquired over the last few years, and so we've got a really terrific ability to see the market sort of end to end now with all the different things that we provide for the market.
What are you most excited by? Because obviously there's a lot of talk around how we can adopt tech to be sort of used most efficiently, and also AI is high on the agenda. Yeah. What are you seeing at the moment in terms of key trends?
Well, that's interesting. I think that one of the things that are happening in our market is it's moving more quickly than it ever has before. And so people are having to be in the position to respond more quickly. And that's kind of unique. You know, in our industry, there have been periods of time where not much has been changing or not much has been evolving, but now it's going very, very quickly. In the regulatory world, in the compliance world, in the analytics world, all places that we serve, we're seeing brand new ideas, brand new tools, and a new sort of energy around getting those things out to the market and to the investor.
What are you seeing as key trends in terms of it's a huge topic to say tech, you know, is there anything in particular at the moment that you're very focused on?
Well, the current big word is AI, of course, and so all the technology companies are looking on how to apply it, but apply it sensibly. Now, so for example, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, in the large language model world of AI, that's really important and really interesting. It's not particularly sexy, you know, it's hard work that's being done by machine now, but it's really important. So for example, in our world, the reconciliation world, making sure that when you say one thing to one party, you've said the same thing to another party over the course of hundreds of thousands of documents. It's almost impossible. It is impossible to do it manually. But these LLMs, these large language models and AI, allow the machines to go out and say, okay, yeah, you're good. And they can figure out, they can learn, they can say, is this the same thing as this? Oh, it is? Okay, well, good, you matched it up. And so we've released products now called Unity Rex, which looks at hundreds of thousands of documents to make sure that they're all matching and reassure the compliance officer and reassure the marketing people that you're not saying one thing on one page and one thing on another page.
That efficiency and streamlining is going to be extraordinary for this business in terms of how it improves the speed at which you can do things as you've described, and also the opportunities that are out there.
Precisely, and we don't even know what they all look like right now. I mean, there's a lot of experimentation going on, focusing on where the there is. I'd say what we will see is, and I've always believed this to be true, when you let technology make the company more efficient, it lets people use their imaginations and innovation to create new things. So you focus people on being able to be inventive as opposed to just grinding through the hard work it is to take care of the regulations or take care of the compliance people.
It's really positive and interesting hearing you say that, because there is this kind of fear of AI that it's going to take away everybody's job.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think so at all. I think what it's going to do is allow people to be more creative. It's going to allow people to be focused on things that are more interesting. I mean, the winners and losers in the investment world, I believe, are the ones that are going to be either adopting these new technologies and seeing how they can innovate and satisfy the needs of the investor best, or they're going to ignore them and be fearful of it, and they're going to be left out. They're going to be left out of all of the differentiation that's going to be happening in the future.
And I guess that's the history of any sort of revolution or evolution, isn't it? That those that refuse to adopt are always left behind.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, you know, if you take the word AI and just replace it with computer, you know, for 30 years ago, or, you know, I mean, it's not scary at all. It's fascinating. I do think we shouldn't look at it as an opportunity to lose people or collapse the size of organizations, but rather to refocus people on the things that are most interesting, the most innovative, and the most bringing these firms forward and giving them more opportunities. It's all about serving the investor ultimately, and so we can turn our attention to that and see how do we use these tools to do that.
There's simply going to be operations and strategies that we couldn't have done without it.
Absolutely, precisely, and it's not like the world's getting both larger and smaller in a sense in the investment world. It's more and more complicated to take products across borders. It's more and more complicated to take them to different jurisdictions. These are the kind of tools that can help that. They can normalize things, language translation. You know, when you're looking looking at the objective of fund and making sure that it's appropriate in a different jurisdiction than you're used to serving. These are great things, tools that no human wants to be doing that. I mean, no human wants to be translating into Turkish, or whatever it takes. So I think there's a huge opportunity there.
Absolutely, and when you think about a region like Europe that does have so many languages to deal with, let alone anything else.
Well, no, I mean that's that's a perfect example of just language. I mean, if you just took that as an opportunity to make sure that people, because when you think about an investor is seeking to understand. And understanding is always easiest in one's own language, right? It's hard to understand when it's been translated. That's just one of a million opportunities that allow the investor to be better served, allow the firm that embraces that to serve them better, and not have to have a zillion people running around and doing translations that could be different depending on who the translator is.
And are you feeling very positive in those terms about how this industry is embracing those ideas when you're at something like IMpower and you're hearing people have conversations?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it starts with Confluence has had a history of being partners with its clients, and so it's a two-way street, right? We can, as a technology company, invent a million things, but if the industry isn't ready to onboard them or doesn't see them as valuable, we're stuck with them, right? So the partnerships, the conversations that have been going on are very exciting because you've seen both the asset managers, the asset owners, the allocators, the fund admins, all of whom are clients to us, talking to one another about this, and that's exciting. That's fun because that allows us to be creative, it allows them to be creative. But like I said earlier, it really will, I think, determine the winners and losers as we look over the course of the next 10 years, 15 years. We'll be remembering now was the time we made different decisions that benefited us.
Talking about looking forward, just finally, what do you think you'll be most focused on in the next 12 months now?
Well, we have two really main areas. We're working very hard with our clients to make sure that we're staying tuned and at the same tempo as they are, as there's a lot of regulatory stuff happening right now, and we're trying to make sure that we're with them all the way. They know we're going to be taking care of that stuff, so they look at us. We also actually look at this as a great opportunity for Confluence as a company. We're acquisitive, and so there's a lot of neat new companies coming out there. It's great to walk the floor and look at these companies. There's some venerable companies, there's some brand new fun companies, and everything in between. And so that's something we're looking at as we continue to grow our footprint in the space.
Exciting times for you. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. Great to see you today.
Thank you.